You're fighting the Normans with a pea shooter. You're going into battle holding a pea shooter. And yes, I am calling France Éducation Internationale FLE a pea shooter. There's a 71% difference between the future tense in English and in French, based on these simple everyday examples I found. And that's just one tense. Can we even start to imagine the number of things that a French teacher either never addresses about English, doesn't know exist, or simply doesn't even notice when you speak? From pronunciation, grammar, intonation, conjugation, tenses, and people wonder why they're struggling. There's a vast ocean that a French teacher from France has never explored when it comes to English. 71%! And that's just one tense between English and French. Imagine the vastness, the absolute vastness. And this isn't just a matter of, well, who cares if my screwdriver's a bit rusty, it still works, doesn't it? No, we're talking about inner transformation. We're addressing decades of subconscious communication. The way you speak English. Decades. So saying, well, who cares if my French teacher isn't perfect? That's not going to cut it. It's not going to do the job. You can't achieve this inner transformation by using a teacher who's just not absolutely perfect. We're not just doing some light DIY here with a rusty screwdriver. Listen, all you poor expats currently learning French in France, this video's for you. And I really do burn a little candle, at least mentally I do, almost every day thinking about you. And I shed a little tear, because it's not easy. I really know it's not easy. I've seen enough expats trying to learn French in France, and I know what it's like. I literally grew up in a family of expats. I had a front row seat for over 30 years. I grew up in an expat family. I know what an English-speaking person goes through living in Francophone Europe. And we'll make these reasons utterly clear to you, with examples, with clear examples. No philosophy, no saying how the French are utterly French and that their teaching of French is too French for anyone but the French. We'll leave all this aside. We'll stay clear of that sort of thing. Just clear examples for you today, for you to understand the problem once and for all. And if this won't convince you that you absolutely do need a bilingual teacher, I think nothing will. Let's just talk about a lesson on the future tense, just the future tense. You're in a school in France, you're learning about the future tense or with a tutor or something, and the future tense comes up. So they'll typically tell you that there's 6 endings that you put on the verbs, you know, je parlerai, tu parleras, and all that. And they'll tell you that you can use the future tense according to levels of commitment, you know, for promises, for consequences, for predictions of events, such as I'll always love you. It's a promise. Je t'aimerai toujours. It's a promise. It's a high level of commitment. Versus je vais toujours t'aimer. I have the intention of always loving you. There's 3 main uses for the future tense in French: promises, predictions, and consequences. You do your exercises in class, all goes well, but you're still walking around with an English-speaking brain. You're hardwired to use the future tense in a certain way. And there will absolutely be an interference between the 2 languages, because that French teacher has absolutely forgotten to address how you think about the future tense. They never spoke about it. Why? Because it's not their job. Because they don't know English at that level. Let's compare English and French. I'll always love you. Okay, that works in French. It's a high commitment. It's a promise. Je t'aimerai toujours. So this works in French. Number 2, if you go out, you'll be wet. You'll get wet. It works in French also. Si tu sors, tu seras mouillé. So it's a consequence. If this, then that. And number 3, it will certainly be crowded. I'm making a prediction about the future. Il y aura certainement beaucoup de monde. So far, we have a perfect match between English and French. The 3 examples worked in one language and we found a perfect equivalent in the other. Okay? But, wait. Example number 1, I'll close the window. Wait, I'll close the window. I'm using the future tense for something I'm doing now. I'm already in the motion. My hand stretched out, I'll close the window. You can't do that in French. You can in English, you can't in French. Right, I'll go and walk the dog. Or you can't do that in French either. You can't. You're commenting on the present with the future tense in English. You can't do that in French. I'll go and walk the dog. Number 3, he's a nice guy, but he'll talk for hours about football. I'm expressing a typical habit. You can't do that in French. I'm talking about a typical habit with the future tense. You can't do that in French. He's a nice guy, but he will talk for hours about football. Number 4, talking about annoying traits. She'll always leave her coffee mugs all around the house. You can't do that in French. Number 5, formal instructions. Candidates will remain seated until the exam ends. You can't do that in French. 6, general truths. Oil will float on water. You can't do that in French. Number 7, proverbs such as boys will be boys, accidents will happen. Number 8, the door won't open. Very interesting. We're using the future tense for a truth that's happening now. The door won't open. It doesn't open, in other words. You can't do that in French. Number 9, habits in the future. I'll usually go to the market on Saturday. You can't do that in French. You can't use the future tense to say that in French. Number 10, we're still not done here. Number 10, strong commands. You'll report to the manager's office immediately. Can't say that in French. Number 11, the football stadium will seat 50,000 people. We're using the future tense for a truth. It will seat 50,000 people. Can't do that in French. The phone rings. Oh, that will be my mum. Someone at the door. Oh, that will be the postman. You can't do that in French. You can't use the future tense to express this sort of thing. Number 13, you will do as you're told. You will learn your manners when you speak to a grown-up. I know it's a bit old-fashioned. You will show respect when so-and-so. You know, that type of authoritative statements. You can't do that in French. And number 14, the case of when. We use the present tense after when, so I will know when I see it. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. So we're using the present tense after when, which we don't do in French. So when we put all of this together, that's a lot of differences. And these are everyday examples. These are not things I pulled out of old books. These are things we actually do say every day in English that your French teacher has never heard of. Or not much. Or certainly can't teach or explain. Even if they have heard of these uses of the future tense in English, they certainly can't explain it, and they certainly can't contrast this with French. They can't say, whereas we do this in English, we do this in French. That's not their job at all. And misunderstandings based on the future tense can absolutely happen in everyday life. You don't have to look far. A French person, a disgruntled French person, who's ever heard of that, might tell you one day, vous apprendrez qu'en France on dit vous aux gens qu'on ne connaît pas. And you might think, oh, will I? Oh, that's nice. I'll be learning this, will I? No, in fact, they were really, really angry at you, as evidenced by the use of the future tense. Vous apprendrez qu'en France. They were actually really angry when they said that. So as I said, this is just one tense. I just used one tense to exemplify what I meant. Can you even start to imagine the number of things that a French teacher either never sees, doesn't know about English, or doesn't notice when you speak French? That they don't know the source of the problem, they don't know where it comes from. They'll notice that your French isn't perfect. They'll not really know why, because they don't speak English at that level and they don't teach English at that level. Their job is just to teach French. And still people wonder why they're struggling, because they're using the wrong tool for the job. There's a vast ocean, psychologically, subconsciously, linguistically, a vast ocean that a French teacher has never explored about the English language. My name is Chris. I teach French in a bilingual way. Find me at OuiCommunicate.com. I hope it was useful. Thanks for watching.